Human beings have always explored. We cross oceans, we climb mountains, we build cities, we create science, we connect the world through the internet. We build artificial intelligence. And now we are talking seriously about becoming a multi-planetary species. The story of humanity is, in many ways, the story of exploration. But while some people were exploring the outside world, others were exploring something different. They were exploring the inside, their thoughts, their emotions, their attention, their consciousness. And today, I want to explore a simple question. Why have human beings been looking inward for thousands of years? And why might that matter more than ever today? When we look at modern civilization, it is hard not to be impressed. I think about what humanity has achieved in just few generations. We have created airplanes, computers, smartphones, satellites, artificial intelligence. And today, a person like me sitting in Queenstown can have a conversation with someone on the other side of the planet instantly, as you and me. That would have sound like magic for most human history. And honestly, I think we should celebrate that. Human creativity is just extraordinary. But sometimes I wonder, has our inner development kept pace with the outer development? Because despite all the progress, many people still struggle with anxiety, distraction, loneliness, stress, emotional overwhelm, and even lack of meaning. And that leads me to another question. If humans have spent thousands of years improving the world around them, why have so many people also spent thousands of years trying to understand themselves? One thing I find fascinating is that although technology changes dramatically, the human experience changes much more slowly. Ancient people didn't have social media, smartphones, email, artificial intelligence, but they still experience fear, desire, uncertainty, grief, anger, attachment, suffering. The forms change, but the experience remains surprisingly familiar. Sometimes we think modern people invented stress, but human beings have probably been wrestling with their minds for a very long time. And perhaps this is why so many traditions became interested in looking inward. Not because they wanted to escape life, but because they wanted to understand it. What were they looking for? When I first became interested in meditation and long time ago, and at that time I assumed people practice meditation mainly to relax. But today I see it differently. I think many traditions were asking questions like, why do I react the way I do? Why do certain thoughts keep returning? Why do emotions sometimes control me? Why do people suffer? What creates peace? What creates clarity? These are not ancient questions, they are human questions, and they remain relevant today. Maybe self observation was one of humanity's earliest forms of psychology. Not scientific psychology, but experiential psychology. People observing themselves carefully. And I think this becomes especially important in our current moment. We are living during one of the most extraordinary periods in history. Artificial intelligence is evolving very fast. Technology is accelerating. Scientific discoveries continue to reshape society. Companies like SpaceX are helping build the foundations for a future in space. Humanity's ability to transform the external world is remarkable. But all of this creates an interesting challenge for us. As our tools become more powerful, our minds become more important. And that's something I want to highlight because technology amplifies whatever is already inside us. If we are distracted, reactive, impulsive, technology amplifies that. If we are focused, conscious, and thoughtful, technology amplifies that too. Perhaps the future will not depend only on smarter machines. Perhaps it will also depend on wiser humans like you. And maybe this is why practices like meditation are returning. I don't think meditation is becoming popular again because suddenly it became spiritual. I think people are searching for something deeper. They are searching for calmness, clarity, focus, balance, meaning in a world that is constantly pulls attention outward. Meditation offers something increasingly rare, the opportunity to pause, to observe, to become aware, to reconnect. Perhaps meditation is not primarily about escaping the world. Perhaps it is about learning how to engage with the world more consciously. And this brings us back to the original question. Maybe ancient meditators, philosophers, yogis, and seekers understood something simple. Human beings spend their entire lives experiencing reality through the mind, attention, perception, emotion, awareness. Yet, many of us spend very little time understanding those things. We learn mathematics, history, technology, we learn professional skills, but very few people learn how attention works, how emotion works, how thoughts influence experience, how to regulate themselves. The inward journey is not separate from life. It influences every part of life. Relationships, work, health, leadership, creativity, meaning. And I don't think the answer is choosing between technology and meditation, or between science and self awareness, or between progress and reflection. I think the challenge is balance. Humanity should continue exploring continue creating, continue innovating, continue building. But perhaps we should also continue understanding ourselves because progress, the progress outward without progress inward, can create powerful societies filled with confused individuals. And perhaps one of the great opportunities of our time is to continue both journeys, the outer journey of civilization and the inner journey of consciousness. Maybe the people who looked inward thousands of years ago were not escaping reality. Maybe they were studying the instrument through which reality is experienced, the mind, the body. And perhaps that exploration remains just as relevant today as it was then. Humanity is in a very important state nowadays. And as humanity reaches toward artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and even the stars, perhaps one of the most important frontiers still remains within us. This is Cesar, your host, and this has been another episode of The Older Brother. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you are. All the best energy for you in your outward and inward journey. Have a beautiful time. If you like this content, click here and give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.